Welcome to Never Rewrite. I'm Isaac Askew.
And I'm Jeffrey Sherman. And today we're going to discuss a recent thread from software legend Allen Holub. He wrote on Blue Sky that, well, I'm just going to read it and then we'll talk about it. So Allen wrote, I never suggest rewriting a legacy system because of the flaws because the flaws of the system usually extend way beyond the code itself. The odds are that everything from the architecture to the UX to the feature set to the need to solve whatever problem the software originally solved is antiquated. A rewrite will waste vast amounts of time recreating features that nobody wants or needs, solving a problem that nobody has anymore. Instead, rebuild. That is, if you build the product your competitors will be working on 2 years from now, if you mimic what they're working on now, you'll never get ahead of them. You want to start from scratch. You want a start from scratch project built in small increments with copious customer communication and feedback. A business will never have true long-term viability just sitting on its laurels as they drive and wither away. You can't resurrect a desiccated laurel wreath by painting it green. Instead, you have to have a startup embedded in your company working on the next thing. If you don't, your competitors will happily do that for you.
That's a good thread.
It's a good thread. He's really interesting to listen to. He's got deep thoughts.
I think, oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, I think what kind of stands out, it's kind of funny, he's also struggling with the same language that we're struggling with, like, don't rewrite Theseus ship, and we're saying that because we don't want to say refactor, which feels like rewriting. He's like, don't rewrite, rebuild. And then he's making a similar distinction, but you're still splitting the hairs well enough that it makes sense.
Right. Well, I think he's to use our Theseus ship of Theseus metaphor directly. Right. Our ship of Theseus metaphor is you've got this legacy system, in this case, literally a ship, and we say, hey, don't build a new ship and then throw away the old one. That's a rewrite. Our metaphor is iteratively replace the components of your current leaky ship until it's a good ship again. And what Allen is saying is, hey, you probably don't want to repair this. You don't want a new ship because what you really need now is an airplane. Shipping by ship.
Yeah.
Shipping cargo via a ship is now antiquated. And what you really want is an airplane. And you could spend the time building a new ship. You could spend the time rebuilding your ship. But if your competitors are building airplanes, you're going to lose.
Yeah. And it's almost still build a new but similar product. I think kind of what he's getting at here. I mean, I guess it depends on what the product is. But what he's getting at here, it sounds like, is where people get hung up on, and what we see with failed rewrites is as you try to build a new system that's the exact same as your old system, but all the bugs are fixed, or it's in a new modern language, or whatever reason you had for it. Your acceptance criteria is normally that all the features that were there before have to still work in the new system. Whereas this one's like, do you still need those features? Can we take the bread and butter of this and, almost like Yahtzee it, take the dice that you need, throw out the ones you don't need. Let's go and build a new product that still has some of the features of our old one, but also have some new things that we think will be needed in the future. And so it's like, it's still rewritey, but it's not rewrite everything. It's rewrite core components and abandon the rest that you maybe don't need anymore, or the customers won't need anymore.
Right. Well, one thing that he said in here that I want to call out is the part you want a new start from scratch product built in small increments with copious customer communication and feedback. And going with our sending cargo by ship or sending cargo by airplane analogy, right? One of the first products that you could send via airplane was airmail. It was mail sent by air, and it went as faster, but it was also, this is early days of plane travel. Planes weren't very good. It was the only thing they could send in bulk was mail, little pieces of paper, and you couldn't send packages. And so with this, he's saying, look, if you've got a ship and you're shipping cargo, instead of rebuilding, like what we would generally advocate for is okay, refactor, iteratively replace your ship, bolt wings on it, and now it flies. He's saying,
Nice.
yes, uh, he's saying build a small airplane, start by sending airmail, get good at sending airmail. You still have this ship that sends bulk cargo. Now you've opened up a new business line instead of trying to your old line into the new one.
So, do we have like two teams working on this? Do we actually still have the same kind of issue to where we're splitting the resources and one person's letting the old shipping continue because we still need to serve our customers while we have like this, re-envisioning of what the new future will look like?
In this case, I don't think so, because the way Allen is framing it, the new team is working on a new product. So you have the team that is maintaining the current product, and you have a team that's working on a new product, and that new product may eventually replace the old product, but it may not. Right? Like the Apple MacBook team never replaced the Apple desktop team.
Right. It's still split resources though.
It's still split. It's split
Yeah.
resources. It's definitely split resources, which always worries me.
Yeah.
But in this case, he's saying we're going after a new. We're going after a different. We're making a new product,
Yeah.
and it's similar, right? It's in this case shipping cargo, so we're saying in the same genre. But instead of trying to put wings on our boat and make it fly, he's saying start with an airplane and rethink things along those lines. And I would say, hey, if you're still maintaining the boat, that's a great time to iteratively improve your boat. Um, but he's saying instead of trying to, and I think it's an important thing of instead of trying to build a new hybrid model, just
Right.
have two models.
Yeah.
Don't try to rebuild it to solve all the things.
There's definitely something to tease out here because like there's some aspects of it that still feel like you could fail in the same way a rewrite could fail if you're not careful because it has
Mm-hmm.
some similar elements. But then there's other pieces that just don't make sense to continue. Like if you were to build something like a brand new product and it doesn't make sense to just shoehorn it into your old tech stack, then you shouldn't do that for the sake of, oh, we're scared of a rewrite, scared of rebuilding. So we
Mm-hmm.
should shove it in the old stack. You should build it in the way that makes the most architectural sense. So
Yes.
building a separate product that's unrelated to your legacy system makes sense. But I guess what's trapping me here in
Mm-hmm.
this idea is like you still got the exciting new project that all the engineers are splitting to work on the new one. All the other ones are stuck working and supporting the old one, which is that kind of theme that we saw that was like it adds strife between
Mm-hmm.
people. Um,
Well, I mean, yes, but I think part of what he's saying is he didn't say the flip side of that is you're doing lots of small increments with copious customer feedback. There's
mhm.
a very good chance that the new start from scratch project is going to fail and be canceled.
So I guess you could have a closer because of the closer or the shorter feedback loops. There's safety in killing it early. It's almost
Right.
like your MVP.
You've got a
Except,
boat that ships cargo and you add airmail, and customers are like, we don't airmail is not useful.
yeah, and then you're not stuck in this loop of sunk cost fallacy of trying to deliver a rewrite of an old system, a snapshot of an old system. It
Right.
was
If
just
you're going to
a
build
fast
a
failure of a
giant
new one. Yeah,
right, if you're going to build a giant cargo plane because now you're convinced that all the things need to go airmail or air cargo,
hmm
you've neither started building a hybrid, what are they, pontoon planes called, where they land up. They're both boats and
yeah,
airplanes,
yeah.
and
I like how creative we get with this shit.
you're not trying
These
to strap
analogies.
wings on your boat.
Yeah,
You tried some airplanes and they weren't that useful, and so now you're off to thinking about something else
right.
because maybe you're because the going with this analogy, the thing that airplanes get you with cargo is speed,
Hmm.
And maybe your customers don't care about speed. They're shipping, I don't know, steel, and it's like, well, whatever. If it gets there a week later, we just have longer lead times. And they care about cost. And so they don't want airplanes. They want bulk at cost. They want
Right.
cheapest cost. And so you started this thing, it failed, and now you discover, oh, what we really need are bigger boats, or
Yeah.
or boats that fit in the Panama Canal. If we're digging deep into this.
uh, yeah, I guess this question ends up becoming more of is this just a separate type of product in
Mm-hmm.
general? Because like if we're sticking with this concept of just a shipping company, you're
Mm-hmm.
still a shipping company, and you're not rebuilding your legacy shipping part. You're just trying
Right.
to find new ways to ship, and that's not considered. That could be considered a rebuilding of your company, how you deliver, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily a rebuilding of your old, shipping network through the Panama Canal. It's just a new
Right.
route.
To bring
Yeah.
it back to software, it's you've got a piece of software that ships
Hmm.
sends data somewhere, and instead of making it a universal thing that will do HTTP and FTP and Kafka and RabbitMQ and all these things, we've got a thing. It's FTP, and now we're going to build a new thing that does Kafka, and we're still a data shipping company, but these two
Yeah.
products aren't particularly related to each other.
Yeah. I think that makes sense because the rebuild in his thread, the rebuild word that he chose to use in that thread, is just more of a concept of where your company is going in the future, what kind of services you're providing,
Mm-hmm.
rather than a literal rebuild of a particular repo. I think
Right.
that's the kind of the distinction there.
Right. He's saying there's a lot of value and clarity to cut it off. Be like, look, this is a product. This is what it does. And rather than try to make this new product an everything product,
Yeah.
let's make a new product that does
And
this.
I think in
Be
general,
direct. Yeah.
yeah, I think in general that's even outside of software engineering that holds true. I feel like a lot of specific tools are better than one giant multi-tool that tries to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the right tools for the job, it generally is a better flow. Yeah, I like that. That's an interesting thread. But I do still think it's kind of funny that we have to find these words. So don't rewrite refactor, don't rewrite rebuild, and this is what I mean by rebuilding. It's still kind of like the first time through, it's not very obvious until you tease it out. I
Yes.
think.
This is Eskimos have 30 words for snow or whatever the quote is.
Got it. That's
Right.
funny.
If you deal with a lot of snow, you come up with extra words for it because it's different when you deal with it all the time.
Yeah, we definitely need some distinguishing words. I guess that's why we came up with Theseus shipping to begin with as a way to
Right.
make it distinctive.
Right. Where
Yeah,
thesis shipping is a very specific thing of keep using the ship you have and rebuild it, replace
it's
it over
not
time.
it's not rebuilding in this case.
Yes,
Not
it's
in this
not
case.
rebuilding. It's not rebuilding.
Yeah,
It's keep the
not in
ship you
Allen's
have.
case. Yeah,
Right. It's keep the ship you have. And what Allen was saying is if there's any use case, maybe don't even start trying to extend your ship to do it. Build a new
yeah,
product to go with a new use case.
exactly. I like that
Right.
distinction.
Awesome. I
Get
think we
lost in
should
these
leave it
words.
there.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you all for listening. If you like this show, please rate us and subscribe on your favorite podcast app or YouTube. We're also on YouTube
And
if you're listening.
yeah, and share in areas where people care about shipping analogies and technology, like
Software,
LinkedIn.
but people care about software.
Yeah. All right. And I'm Isaac Askew, and this is Never Rewrite.